Welcome back to Unshackled Wisdom. I'm Katia. Great to have you here. I want to ask you, where are you living right now? Are you living in the present or in an imaginary future that's perhaps causing you fear and stress for you? Or you're living in the past, which is doing the same thing as well? So I want to share a story with a client I've been working with because I feel it's applicable to so many people right now. And this particular person I've known for a while, and she's made leaps and strides in her awareness of a lot of the programs, the repetitious thoughts she's been living on autopilot that really have been determining the trajectory of her life. And she has had some changes happen. However, there's one thing that is really been difficult for her to shift in her awareness, but also from causing this kind of fear and stress responses of anxiety, really. So this is why I ask you, where are you living? Because if we're not in the present, right, we are going to be unwittingly creating obscuring solutions and clarity to situations, daily life that occur when we have our focus on a future event that we make up in our mind, because there is no reality of that in existence. It's only something we're concocting that's producing these unpleasant feelings in our bodies, keeping us in this state of not being present, and consequently we're not available, not just to the present moment, to the people in our lives. We can't give them their our full attention. When we're abandoning ourselves because we're not taking care of our own needs, we're focusing totally on something, as I said, that's not real. But when we have this conscious awareness of what we're doing, we can make changes. Because the truth is, we can't create a future from past experiences that we don't want to repeat again if we keep putting our focus on that. And this is where more and more people are starting to realize their minds have been focusing on things they don't desire. And with that knowledge now, they're able to make some changes step by step, because a lot of these programs are very strong. They've been in place for a long time, and there's a part of your consciousness, I mean, there's a subconscious, conscious mind, superconscious, which basically is that part that wants to keep us stuck in a way of living that really isn't serving us, right? But it's based on old images, old memories that keep coming back of things that happen to us in life, and we just keep thinking that's going to happen again, right? So when we begin this, what did someone say to me? The undoing of the withholding of these things within ourselves, then having that conscious awareness, we can see the effects of it, but we can also become more committed to pulling ourselves up when these thoughts go to scenarios in past that don't exist, and as I said, futures that are just something we've made up. We can't actually pinpoint that reality. So if we know that we are actually abandoning our own needs ourselves, it's a bit of self-betrayal, and everybody else around us, because we're not present, we can begin to keep bringing that back to the present. And it is something that takes repetitious, active doing, but it works, because all of these programs that we live with in our minds have all come about from daily repetition, year after year after year. So we're undoing all that. So I said to her, obviously, where are you living? She's living in this this reality where she's going for a job, and she's fearful now that her job may not be secure in the future with AI and everything else going on. This is something that is really hooked into her belief system that didn't exist, but it's doing all these things to her. It's creating these unpleasant feelings continually from this fear. And if we can see that we're actually doing this to ourselves, we're creating our own suffering, then we can start the process of, shifting that in a big way. And consequently, these things don't have the power over us that they've had in the past. So I just thought I'd share this with you, because if you find that you are placing your attention on an imaginary future that's filled with fear, and you keep playing that over and consequently having these feelings that are really making you feel horrible, then get that awareness, start to untangle yourself from it. But you've got to be persistent, because with any new program, this is what we're doing. We're actually teaching our brain, this part of our brain, to accept a new program. And that has to be done with repetition, just like the old ones were done with daily repetition, unconsciously. So I wanted to bring that up. And if this is helpful for you, to start applying to that yourself, even if you ask the question, where am I actually living today? Am I living in a perceived future and not really being aware of what's going on in my environment continually? Am I just having glimpses of being present and the rest of the time I'm somewhere else? Just to become aware of that, and how this part of you that can become unconscious with this way of thinking is not giving you the kind of life that you want to be experiencing in the here and now. All right, and the other thing I just wanted to quickly touch on was Bruce Lipton, which I've always been a great fan of. Bruce's books, particularly The Biology of Belief and The Honeymoon Effect, which really is, these books are very powerful in as much as once we know that we can change these states of being, and then the honeymoon effect is about really when we're in love, or we're on our honeymoon and we're just so blissed out, we're in love with our husband, partner, whatever, and we are feeling these incredible feelings of fulfillment, contentment, bliss, joy. Everything about our lives is perfect at that moment. We're just flooding our body with these great feelings. We can't wait to get out of bed every day because life feels so fantastic, and this is rippling and coursing through our blood, and consequently, we have incredible health. We feel we don't have fatigue. We could just go on, and as long as we're in joy and contentment and feeling all loved up. And this is what love does, particularly if we apply it to ourselves. But Bruce is basically making the point that we can bring ourselves into these states of being at any given moment by, again, living as if you are in that state right now, and bringing that into fruition with all the feelings that go with that. And how great that would be for your health, huh? This is kind of what I did. Just bringing great feelings of being joyful, being in a great mood every day, expecting the best to happen to you every day, expecting the perfect outcome to happen every day. That in itself just makes the body aware of, drawing great things to you. So Bruce was actually diagnosed with a cancer not long ago, which unbeknown to me. But of course, he also took on the approach that, having written the book, The Biology of Belief, it was now an opportunity for him to be the student, not the teacher, and apply that knowledge. He knew intuitively that he'd been holding back on writing this book that was coming into his mind, and he wasn't expressing what he was asked to be expressed. And he knew that intuitively. And the second part, of course, he was realizing that this was a wake-up call to make some changes in the way he was treating his physical body. He was overweight and he knew he had to lose weight. And he had to make some changes also regarding keeping his body metabolically healthy nutritionally. So he did all that. He was drawn to the right people who were going to help him. And consequently, he lost the extra weight. He then had all the additional modalities and supplements, whatever he needed, that's brought his health up to a higher level. And consequently, he addressed the block that he felt was also contributing to the cancer, which was not expressing what he wanted to express with this book, which of course he's done now, and he has this new book, I think it's Beyond Darwinism, I'll get that right, to be released in August. So anyway, I just thought I'd want to bring that up because sometimes, and so in my case, with the cancer diagnosis, I was really propelled into, okay, now you have to live what you've been teaching people. And it was the best thing. It was the absolute best thing that happened. So, there's always gifts in things. And if we don't grab on and cling to something that's full of fear when we have any event happen in our lives, we can see it as a gift in hindsight. It's catapults us into a right path that's more aligned with who we are, our values, and what we're to contribute in life. So I want to share those two things today, and hopefully these things will, anything here that inspires you and it just reminds you to be very aware of the unconscious thoughts that you're having through the day. Pull yourself up. If these thoughts are against you anyway, or they come from a memory, it's fear-based, change it, stop it, and always speak in your favor and that everything's working out perfectly for you. All right, thanks for being with me, and we'll speak again soon. Bye.